Well, I think anybody setting up a business will have, even if subconsciously, they'll have the target market in mind. So they might either start with the target markets. This is a real problem on the marketplace. So, for example, with us, I thought there's a real gap in the market for a healthy, filling breakfast. Or they might come up with the product first, which is kind of a product-focused business or product-focused brand, but subconsciously they'll always have the target market in mind for that product. So it'll often maybe themselves, they may be the target market. So yeah, really crucial that your messaging and your branding and your packaging, as well as the product, is focused towards that target market. If you can get sales data that says who's actually buying your product, then that's the best you can get. So for example, with one of our grocery customers, they've got a big loyalty program, so we could really understand exactly who's buying it, male or female, what age they are, whether they like premium quality products or more mainstream products. Are they buying for quality? Are they buying for speed? Are they buying because they've got big families? That sort of thing. So whilst you might think you know what your market is, there's no replacement really for actually getting that solid data that says this is who's buying your product. So how to position your brand for your target market. So first thing, obviously, you need to understand who your target market is, but then really dig into what media channels they use, what resonates with them. So then it really informs what media channels you're using and what the messages are and what people respond to there. So for example, we're trying to do a lot on Facebook advertising at the moment, so we need to make sure that our target market is on Facebook. We do a lot of testing, A/B testing, so we can understand what creatives they respond to, what messages they respond to, and exactly the same sort of thing applies to other advertising channels. So obviously, if you're advertising in a magazine, your target market's got to be reading that magazine, or if you're advertising on the tube, your target market's got to be travelling on the tube. The great things about blogs is, especially if they've been built up organically, which most blogs have, is that they've got a real authenticity to them. So people really believe what is written in blogs because it's an individual who's really authentic and putting their heart into something. So whilst they might have they could have a small following or a big following, but genuinely it's got that authenticity behind it. So that really helps a brand in terms of getting our message out there. So the main trains in breakfast are exactly the same things that we set out 12 years ago to cater for. So it's healthy, filling, fast breakfast. Those are the things that we set out to do. So health and wellness continue to be right at the forefront of what people want. Filling is actually the highest growing need state. So people no longer are being taken by fatty diets quite as much. They want a breakfast that's genuinely going to fill them up and give them that sustenance during the morning. And then convenience will continue to grow and become really important for people. People are busy. They've always been busy, but the more they can get those convenient products, the better. So those are long-term trends, healthy, filling and convenient. In terms of specific things, we are seeing a growth in veganism at the moment, which is being pushed by, I think, from an ethical viewpoint, but there are an increasing number of people going vegan from a health perspective, and there'll be an increasing number going from an environmental point of view and sustainability point of view as well. So whilst we're definitely not a vegan brand or a free-from brand, it is a strong arm to what we're doing, and we will be looking at product development in that sector. There's been a couple of big changes we've made to the business as we've gone along. So from a kind of a big business perspective, right at the beginning, we were focused on stalls in train stations, selling our products to consumers on their way to work. So it was a retail consumer-facing model to the business. At the same time, we started developing a more traditional FMCG model, so supplying our products to other retailers. So we had these two parallel business models going at one stage. We then decided to stop the stalls in the train stations. So we closed down a whole half of the business. That was 9 stalls in train stations we decided to stop. And then fast forward a couple of years, we changed our product focus. So from focusing on our birch muesli, which is kind of our starting product and where we still lead the market on UK birch muesli, to now porridge being our main focus as a brand. So there's been 2 major shifts in the business. Kind of focusing down onto branding and design specifically, we've had about 4 or 5 design projects over the years, but 2 specific ones on the birch muesli and on the brand generally. So 2010, 2015, 2 quite major changes in the brand. And I think getting that brand and the design and the packaging right is really crucial, and it's really hard if you're not kind of naturally in tune with that thing to get it right. So my one thing I would say is to any brand owners out there is to really trust your gut on this and to make sure you're really happy with whatever an agency is recommending to you.